with our review of each state's budget performance report, this time in Edo State, where the Godwin Obaseki-led administration, which is now in its 7th year, is said to have spent 973 million naira on bank charges between January and June of 2023. This is according to the state's second quarter 2023 budget performance report posted on its website. A further breakdown of the budget report, which is tagged Budget of Resilience and Transformation, also showed that 425 million naira was spent on meals and refreshments, and an additional 330 million naira was expended on donations and gifts, while the sum of 212 million naira was spent on welfare in 3 months. Rufa, you did a great job early this morning with that link that you sent me about the state's budget performance. We are seeing these states wasting money. This is what I'll call it. Please, Dr. Abati, can you help me out with these bank charges? What is this idea with this 900 and something million on? But what is that?
Well, I have no idea.
I mean,
maybe it has to do with the volume of transactions and the nature of transactions. So we don't know. But the one that we've been worrying about is the amount of food that these state governments, one after the other, consume. In this particular case, we're talking of how much? On feeding alone, you know, close to 800, 700 million
yes, with the cooking
in 3 months.
Involved as well and all of that, yeah.
Maybe we should begin to advocate that people should. You cited the example of Mrs. Obama, right? Who was saying that, look, in the White House, you even pay for what you eat. So maybe something will have to be done about this feeding. But I keep making the point. Now, all these states have houses of assembly. These houses of assembly, they have oversight role. So it's good for us in the media to be looking at the budget reports and say, oh, why did you spend close to 1 billion only on meals? But what is the job of the State House of Assembly? But these State House of Assembly members, they are also complicit in the matter. They are part of the gluttony that is being reported. And that's most unfortunate, because in other jurisdictions, even when you are given a gift, you have to report it. There are certain gifts that the American president is not allowed to collect. But here in Nigeria, oh, okay. They collect free food, they collect free vehicles, they collect free everything. We are subsidizing people who are supposed to be serving us. And the scandalous part of it is that now people are going to government to go and develop pot bellies by overfeeding. Well, it's a pity. So if they spend so much on food, you can imagine what the case is with other things.
Well, all right. I guess we'll... and I'll pull up something that you sent me, actually. It says the country's 36 states have reportedly spent 1.71 trillion on recurrent expenditures, including allowances, foreign trips, office stationery, and aircraft maintenance. We talked about Abia State government spending almost 400 million on feeding and welfare, and 223 on refreshment and meals.
200 million.
Yeah, well, 223 million on refreshment and meals. Then there is a separate charge that they claim.
Not the governor's office. Ministries, departments.
By the way, the governor is not even living in the state house, I heard. I saw a video saying that he's still in his village. You know, the last administration. Yes, he's running his state. So that's
the kind of president we said. See,
that is in the state. It's inside the state.
It's inside the state.
If he comes to work from his house, no problem.
Yeah, because a lot of money was spent on that government house as well.
So I think still the further report, and that's the ALJAZEERA report, was talking about 34 billion, for instance, Benue State, of special day celebration, security votes, Borno, Cross River, Delta, 33, 43, 152, 30.9, 41.1 billion on frivolous items. You know, funds may have been mismanaged. Ekiti state spent 31.3 billion on local and international travel, transport, miscellaneous. You know, Enugu, Gombe State, 33 and 24 billion, and it keeps going. And you know, all of these billions this state are spending. Ask these governors their IGR. In the first quarter of the year, most states could not even attract foreign investments. But you see, they are so concerned about the money they get from the feeding bottle of FAC. and they take more loans and they take more debt. And that's how some people have argued that the states are not viable. We must be able to have an exit clause where, really, if we want states to work in this country, we must be able, that might call for a constitutional reform, maybe sometime in the future. This thing I'm saying, maybe when we are ready, maybe in the 2030s or 2035, when we finally decide to say we want full autonomy of state and, we want, to devolve more powers to the states, we might think of this. We might have a sunset clause on FARC. Maybe probably we keep FARC money as future fund and allow the state run themselves based on what they generate.
Absolutely.
Because if we don't do that, these governors will just continue to eat the money because they see it and they spend it. I mean, there was a governor that was said when he was first voted in, and the first time he saw the monthly allocation, he screamed and almost lost his mind. So these are the kind of wasteful people we put in our states. And that's why Serap is saying the loans we are giving Nigerians, these are what the governors are just frittering the money on. So it's a sad reality and it's a sad reflection of the country we've built, But the budget appropriation bill will be passed soon or will be transmitted to the National Assembly. When they bring out the line item, I know it's normally over 500 pages or 600 pages. It's best for us to scrutinize this. I'm sure when the budget is finally made and you scrutinize the line item, you see a lot of frivolous spending more in the budget. I mean, you saw the first revelation that came out with Honorable Jubrin back in the days of budget padding. Because with all of this too, we have not even talked about the ones National Assembly members do and the corruption. Okay, the corruption scandal that ICPC revealed that time for procurement for National Assembly members on constituency projects, what ended that scandal? You see, we don't ask questions. When we talk, people say, oh, Rufai, you like to criticize. You don't like. I want Nigeria to work. I want to come here and say, can see Nigeria is working. I want to boast about Nigeria. Yeah. That's what I want to do. But you see, it's a bedlam of sorrow narrative every day.
We'll continue to report on the states, though. Well,